Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your first of October S.I.L Weekly Roundup. That's the wrong thumbnail. First mistake of the new season, but we're all at a couple, aren't we? Welcome in. Do hit the subscribe button if you're brand new to the channel. Hit the like button for more S.I.L content. Obviously, we're here to discuss the weekly roundup, the results from the senior division, and also 1 to 5 a bit later on with Dan Barnard joining us to pick out a couple of results that stood out and a couple of upcoming fixtures that look tasty to Dan. But we'll start things off with the S.I.L Senior division. Lots happening up and down the senior division. For those who, of course, want to know about Trimley's result, 2-1 victory on Saturday, up to second in the table. And match day highlights will be out on Wednesday, 7:30, as always. Now, joining me live this evening is Anthony Fryer, who is an old Newton manager. Anthony, welcome in. How you doing?
Hiya, very well, thanks.
Good man. Thank you for joining us. So let the people know at home, you're currently in your car, right?
Yeah, currently in the car. Yeah, just on the way home from work.
Good man. Well, thank you for sparing 10 or so minutes of your time to discuss S.I.L Senior action. How did your weekend go, first and foremost? How did old Newton get on?
Yeah, it was a frustrating one on Saturday. Obviously we lost 4-2 against Claydon. It was a good open game. We just made some silly mistakes at key times, and Claydon were a lot more clinical. We had some good chances to get ourselves back in the game and missed them, and then let the fourth one in, which kind of sealed the result for them, really.
Yeah, 4-2 away at Claydon. Claydon are a strong team, obviously, at the S.I.L senior level. So it's no disgrace to go there and lose any amount, really. They're a strong team again this year, aren't they, Claydon?
Yeah, they were good. So both teams were missing quite a few players this week. So that's probably a false sense on both teams, really. We're playing each other in a few weeks' time, and I think there'll probably be two different 11s out. That was a very late organised fixture. So a lot of players had made plans for both sides, to be fair. So certainly no excuses there. We just went there and started slowly. We're 2-0 down in about 10 minutes, and then got into the game. And from there, I'd say it was fairly even, and chances at both ends. They were just more ruthless and clinical.
As a young manager, when you travel anywhere and you're 2-0 down inside that amount of time, what's going through your mind on the sideline as you're 2-0 down?
What can I do? What can I change? What have we got wrong? What have we got right? But fortunately, it wasn't much of, we didn't have to tweak formations or personnel or anything. We just hadn't really started. We were just off the pace. I think the wind was slightly against us. It wasn't overly windy, but I think it made a bit of a difference for a couple of balls over the top that done us early doors. Fortunately, we scored back pretty quick and kind of settled into the game. So, yeah, never nice to be 2-0 down at any point. But I guess the
absolutely
blessing of going down so early is you have got time to affect it.
This is it. It's almost like the plans, the plans you take into the game almost go straight out the window, don't they, sometimes in football? And that's the beauty of football, both in its good terms and its bad terms. The Blue Circle is a lovely place to play your football. It's a really great pitch, but it is quite open, isn't it, in terms of the wind? I remember when I went did some filming there once. It was I didn't notice the wind as such, but afterwards it was quite windy. You could pick that up on the camera.
Blows across into the dugout, doesn't it? I think if that was my home ground, I'd ask for the dugouts to switch sides, try and keep warm.
There you go. You see, but then maybe keeps you on your toes. Keeps the wind in your face, keeps you with the elements and everything else. But okay, so 4-2 defeat, not the result you obviously would have wanted. Leaves you in 10th place after 6 games. How has your season gone so far after 6 opening games?
Fairly inconsistent. We've played really well in games and we've played poorly in games. We haven't dropped many what I'd call expected points, so I'm certainly not worried that we haven't started where we want to be. Obviously, we want to be higher up, but we've played Henley, we've played Ransoms, we've played Claydon, so obviously three of last year's top 4. We've also played Hawley, who have had a really, really good start and a flying. So yeah, Sporting 87 we played on their first senior game, so that's never a time we really wanted to play them either. And we must have played Westfield at the right time and turned up first half, played really well. So yeah, we haven't dropped many expected points. I think we've done well in some games and not so well in others. The Henley game's obviously the highlight, where we took a point off them second game of the season, played really, really well. So yeah, par for course, but need to improve.
You mentioned the word expected. What is your expectations? Is it your first year in charge of Old Newton?
So nearly a year in. So I took over kind of right at the end of October last year, and kind of been from there. So expectation was we've set our own sort of kind of targets on points rather than position within the dressing room.
Okay, unique. I like that.
So we want to try and double what we got last year. I'll be open and honest with that. So that kind of puts us around the 50-point mark, which would probably be top 7 or 8.
Nice. Yeah.
So we've got some work to do after our start, but still backing it.
I like that though, setting goals and expectations, but point wise, not position wise, because that's quite a unique way of doing things. What made you go that route, and instead of the more traditional, I want to be XYZ?
Just I think you can't really affect what other teams are doing points wise. You can have an idea in your head what kind of points is going to get you into what position, but I think it's really harder to judge because we could have got 60 points last year and finished 7th. So it was really, really tough at the top last year, wasn't it? We come in and stuff. So I just think it's just easy to track. You kind of go through the fixture list and think what games where you're going to get them, and where you anything's a bonus type thing. So
absolutely, we've all done it over the years when in the dugout. Ben Moore says if I go 2-0 down there, it's all about how the players can keep their character and how the way we play will never change. So obviously sticking to a philosophy. Thank you for the comment, Ben. If you're watching live, do get involved. Leave a comment, leave an opinion, whatever you want to talk about. It is the S.I.L Weekly Roundup, but it's your show as well, so you can set the narrative. You mentioned it's been just over a year or coming up to that year. How has that year gone from your perspective, looking back at Anthony?
So we've had some really, really good highs. Obviously, we had the Senior Cup run last year where we lost to Wanderers in the semi-final. Obviously, the highlight, we pulled ourselves away from any sort of relegation danger quite early last year, and last season kind of plateaued out. We were expecting some more of our players to stay, I think, than did. So we kind of then had to rebuild again in pre-season, which with hindsight probably should have maybe started with some of the rebuild and some of the signings we've made earlier in the pre-season period. But we're still bringing players in. We're still improving what we've got. We're really happy with what we've got, and we know a few more bodies because availability with everybody in the senior division. I'm sure every manager says exactly the same. You not just your injury suspensions, but you have got players, and especially coming out of the lockdowns, that have got weddings and holidays and stuff that they want to do, and you have to accept that that's going to happen. So you do need a big squad. So I think we're probably looking for 2 or 3 to really boost that in key areas.
So still looking for 2 or 3 more. And that social diary is busy. You are right. You've got to, as you come out of lockdown, you've got the weddings, the birthdays, the stag do's, the holidays that people didn't go on. And the social diary does look pretty full for a lot of teams up and down the S.I.L. Talking of which, obviously your result wasn't the only one this weekend. If we take a look at some of the results from across the weekend, which ones sort of jump out to you as we look at it, and
I think the biggest result really would have been Ransom's winning 5-1 against Hawley. I know we played Ransom's last week and they were very, very good. I don't think we done ourselves any justice. We kind of crumbled to the pressure, but they were all over us from start to finish. Looked a really good outfit. So I'm not surprised they won, but I think to win so comfortably against Hawley, who had not dropped a point all season or not lost a game all season, was certainly an impressive standout win.
Yeah, Hawley sitting in third, played 6, won 4. That was their first defeat. And quite comprehensive. I'll look at the result, 5-1. And the surprise there. Henley there, 4-0 at home to Bilderston. They're a strong team again this year, Henley, aren't they?
Yeah, I still think Henley are the team to beat. I think they're winning the league last year. They've got obviously a very, very good squad. They play a nice style of football. You never want to play against them. So I do think they're the team to beat, but I certainly think they'll be pushed all the way by some of the others, and certainly Ransoms, who we've seen this year firsthand, I think will be right up there.
Yeah, it's a really good competitive league, as we were saying sort of last week, and it could be any number of, from 3 or 4. But at the other end of the table, East Burgolt going to Leiston St Margaret's, taking 3 points, their first 3 points of the campaign, played 5, now in 13th. That's could be a big win at any point of the season, couldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. When you're down at the bottom, whether you think you should be there or not, you have to beat the teams around you. If not, you start to put yourself under pressure. I'm not surprised that Burgolt would. I'm surprised to see them down there. They've had a really tough start. I think they will pull up. I know a few of their lads. They've got some very good players there, so I do think they'll rise. I don't think they'll be down there at the end of the season. But at this stage, it's a big first win. I mean, looking on Twitter, I think that was 2-2 after about 85 minutes. So yeah, definitely a big one for them to win. And when you're not winning games of football, you build the pressure on yourselves, don't you? And that makes that first win even harder to get.
It does, yeah. Even if you, as you say, whether you think you deserve to be down there, whether you do or you don't, you've got to pick those wins up and start building and start stacking momentum. Really, isn't it? It's about keep moving in the positive direction.
Yeah, 100%. That's what football is, isn't it? Momentum's a big thing, and it's great when you're winning, and you just seem to find a way of winning without playing well. But it's completely the same when you're losing. You're playing really well in games, but just can't find a way to get over the line. And yeah,
absolutely.
It's probably a harder cycle to break, isn't it?
Bad Habits, as they say, not just a great song by Ed Sheeran. I'll bring in Dan Barnard, a manager who won this weekend. Dan, before we say goodbye to Anthony, who's kindly given up some time, sat in his car, not quite as comfortable as you sat there in the Barnard mansion. I know you've got a question for Ant, so fire away, my man.
Yeah, evening, Ant. How you doing, mate? You right?
Right, good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, not bad, pal. Just obviously, you being in the senior, how hard is it? Obviously, I've looked to see your player season titles. At the moment, you've had 26 players play and only 6 games played. How hard is it for you to obviously to try and get momentum to keep the same squad every week and train with the same players every week? Like it's kind of hard for the senior.
Yeah, I don't think we're the only ones that have used loads. I'm shocked to see that as 26.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've had guest players help us out for weeks, so we've been short. We've used lots of the reserves. I know that was a frustrating one for the reserves on Saturday because they ended up going to their game with bare 11, which is horrendous for any reserve manager because we've had to call up players again. We will get there. I think August and September is always the worst. So hopefully, touch and wood, as I say, as the hard parts out of the window, and we can start to get that settled side together, which we need. But I think looking at S.I.L over the last few years, I think yes, the best sides are the best sides, but they're also the best sides because they have the most sort of committed and regular sides and make the fewest changes. I think that is very helpful.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely. And we really appreciate you giving it your time. 14 minutes of S.I.L Senior stuff, sat from the comfort of your car. I know it's not been easy on you, but I truly thank you so much. And who have you got next weekend? And let people know where they can find you.
We've got a break from the league with an extremely tricky senior cup tie away at Howsworth. So that'll be another one of the expected top 4, I guess we can say, ticked off the list after Saturday.
Are you looking? Sorry, are you looking to use the cup as a momentum springboard for the league action or a respite? How are you sort of approaching the cup with obviously what Dan's just brought there? Stats from Dan Barnard, 26 players. What's your mindset going into the cup?
Completely one game at a time, same as last year. But that would be great to have a run again. It really kept our season together last year, the Senior Cup. So yeah, would love to go as far as we can in it again. And again, no targets, but yeah, we'll go there and try and be as competitive as you can, and try and get the result and into the next round.
Brilliant. Well, all the best for it Saturday, and good luck driving home wherever home may be. So thanks ever so much.
Cheers, Ant.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate.
Take care. Thanks ever so much. Danny, over to you. Mate? I mean, sadly not the result Old Newton would have wanted the weekend, but well, preach, because I think you're not smiling enough for a 7-1 victory.
Yeah. It was. I mean, we had 6 players missing Saturday. Again, that would start in any game. Yeah. I mean, we probably 3 or 4 of them were absolute worldies. to say that, and they were all probably like contests for the goal of the season.
Really?
Yeah, they were good. They were good. Good shots on target.
By the way, just to jump in there, 2-footed, like you know, a Lee Catamol challenge. I do want clips. So
yeah,
I'd love to do a goal of the year on the channel. I'd love to do all sorts of manner of things. So if you're at a game, take a video. If you're a part of a club with a VEO or whatever, get the stuff to me, and I'd love to show result highlights, etc., as a part of this package, this show. But you reckon a couple will player of the year, goal of the year?
Oh yeah, I'd probably say free, definitely free
in one game.
Yeah,
tasty.
yeah.
Obviously, Thurston were the competition. Commiserations to them. They'll surely rebound. I've got no doubt about that. But looking at the rest of the division, then Dan, it's your division. I say that because you're a manager in the division, not because you're going to win it, although you think you might. What else stood out to you from that group of results?
Well, when Aston done us a favour by drawing with Bilderston, so they drew 2-2, which I mean, Bilderston still sit top with 1 point, but I mean, our goal difference hopefully will come in our favour this season, and take us leapfrogging above them. I say Codnam won as well. Apparently, that was a close game to the end. Beat Curtin 3-2, so they're on our tails as well. But I mean, we just need to do what we need to do and just keep winning games, turning up and winning games. So
control the controllables. Control what obviously you can control. You sat in second, Bilderston in first, Codnam in third. Still early doors, very early doors. I mean, Startling and Falklands, for example, only played 2. Is there a team that you expect to be up there come the end of the season that currently is, not inside those top 3 places? Is anybody going to be making that run, do you think? Obviously, early doors still.
It's hard. It's hard to say. I mean, we haven't played every team yet, so we just don't know what they're going to play. We know that, a few teams that are coming up against that their first team don't have a game that could bring in a few players to play against us.
Well, an easier question, I guess, to follow on from our S.I.L Senior manager, Anthony, there. What's your I don't know if I'll ask you this. I know you've said you want to win the league, but what is your expectation? Are you looking at it position-wise, or are you looking at it the same way Anthony did with we want to, get a certain number of points? How are you approaching it as a manager in your own right of Henley Reserves?
Well, being the new team in the league, a lot of teams, a lot of clubs have said that we should never have been put in that division in the first place. But it's how the league put it. But with the team that we have, I don't like to blow my own trumpet, but we should really be getting promoted. We should really be getting promoted this season. But as I said, we have to take every game. We can't just think that we're going to win the league and take every team out winning 7-1 every week, because that's not going to happen. There'll be times where we need to dig deep and make sure that we can grind that 1-0 out or a 2-1 90th minute winner. So yeah,
you've got to win ugly as well as winning pretty, as they say.
Yeah. So
yeah, but particularly when the winter months start to come and the rain and the pitches and and the illnesses and the cool offs, whatever it might be, you got to have that in your arsenal. You got to have that in your locker.
I mean, the good thing about it is we haven't played a single home game.
Really?
No, they've all been away.
There you go. You're gonna make it a fortress when you do return home. Not like Man United.
We don't talk about Man United.
Dan? How are you feeling after the derby, Dan?
Yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? We just get, it's just. I mean, I'm swinging more to Ipswich now than Man United. You see.
There you go.
So.
There you go. There you go. It's that Haaland, isn't it? It's just a flipping heck.
Yeah, well, I mean,
what a man!
He's an animal, isn't he?
He is. I won't ask you if there's an S.I.L equivalent of Haaland. Don't worry, I won't put that on you. I won't put that ball in your court. But looking around the divisions, let's start in Division 1, the first league outside of the senior. These are the results from the weekend. This should be on your screen right now. I'll read them out in case you're listening on one of our podcast platforms. You can find this show on a podcast. Just search S.I.L Weekly Roundup. You've got AFC Kesgrave 4-1 winners over Capel Plough. Somersham 2, Brantford Road Old Boys 2, Bardwell 0, Stanton 13, Exeting 2, Cockfield 6, Grunsborough 1, Thurston 3, Kesgrave Kestrels 3, Wolverston 1, Starpland Falcons 2, Wenhaston 0, and Tattingstone 6, Claretown 0. Some goals in this division this week. Thurlow Youth 1, Backton United FC 2, Bardwell 0. Hang on, we've read those before. Right, they're repeating on themselves. I do apologise.
Yeah.
But anyway,
yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, classic website. What results jump out to you? I mean, I'll start with the obvious. Bardwell 0, Stanton FC 13 in the Junior Cup.
Bardwell are not the team that they were last season. It was put over social medias that they'd a lot of players had left the club, and I think they're just grinding by with the players that they've brought in or they've left over. But I mean, we played them in the final of the Divisional Cup, Bardwell, and they're a good outfit. And there was no way that they'd lose 13-0 if they had the players they have today.
Well, again, you can only control what you control and playing who you're playing. And full credit to Stanton, obviously a resounding victory there. But outside of that one, some more closer games in the actual division. Kesgrave 4, Capel Plough 1, Somersham 2, Brantford Road Boys 2. Before we get to the cup again, those 2 league games, are they as expected? Do you feel there's a surprise result there? What are you thinking?
Capel Plough struggles. I think they've struggled to get numbers every week. Ever since they've dropped down from the senior division, I think they've struggled to get the players, and a lot of players probably would have left to go to play senior football again, or play with their mates at a different club. But the one that stood out for me was Somersham 2, Brantford Road Old Boys 2. I mean, Somersham is still unbeaten, and it's gonna be a task for someone to beat Somersham on the slope. With their home games, they've got the slope to their advantage. But as I said, they're unbeaten, and Brantford Road Old Boys are no pushovers. They've got a good team as well. They've been grinding out the 1-0 wins as well. But yeah, I thought that game stood out for me because Somersham are still unbeaten, and they've just gone into that league as well. That's the new league they're in.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's look at the fixtures to come. Achilles will play. Oh, no, postponed. All postponed. It's a cup game, isn't it, this weekend? Yeah. So that's why there's no fixtures in there. There you go. I am learning. Into Division 2, then, Dan, what fixtures stood out for you in Division 2? Only 2 fixtures, so we will include the cup games. Obviously, cup weekend was this weekend for a lot of teams, but there's 2 fixtures to look at, and there's several cup games. You got Elmswell 0, Saxmundham 4, Stonham 0, Curtin 9, and then the cup results. So look at the 2 league games. What are your thoughts there in Division 2?
I mean, you look at Curtin 9-0.
Yeah.
I mean, Stonham have got a great history behind them.
Some big away wins this weekend.
Yeah, have you done your score total this week?
I haven't. No, but I mean, last week it was majority of the home wins, but a lot of goals. This week the goals would be eclipsed by a lot. But it's away teams. They've turned up and been dominant. Look at Curtin. Both games in this division, Dan, are away wins.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. Actually, football's a funny game. Football is a funny game. Yeah,
it is a great game. But you've got Kesgrave Kestrels beating Wolverston 3-1 in the cup as your sort of standout team game, right?
Yeah, Wolverston in Division 1, Kesgrave in Division 2, and obviously Kesgrave Kestrels got promoted this season from Division 3 in Division 2, and Wolverston getting promoted from Division 2 to 1. So that's a massive result for Kesgrave. I know they love a cup run. I know the goalkeeper quite well, and he does love a knee slide when in the cup game.
Who is their keeper?
KJ.
Well, there we go. We want a KJ knee slide on camera so we can get it on the intro of the S.I.L Weekly Roundup. Chip says S.I.L equivalent of Haaland is Ben Griggs.
Who? I haven't seen him for weeks. I think he's missing in action.
Sean says up the Summy. In Barney we trust, says Matthew Kersey. Thank you for watching. Get your comments, get your thoughts in, predictions in, whatever it might be. Might get a prediction league going.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be quite a tough one to do as well. It'd be quite interesting to see.
I do like it. Well, I'm doing terrible in the Talking Town prediction league. It's my own bloody league. I'm mid-table. So maybe I'll be better at this one. Who knows? On to the next set of results. Division 3, you've got Kesgrave losing to Claydon 2-1. Talk to me while I get that on the screen. What's your thoughts there?
So AFC Kesgrave reserves have scored 14 goals before playing Claydon A. Claydon A being obviously my old team. Ash has taken over, doing some good things over there, and starting to get them wins on board. It's a massive result to go there and win 2-1 when they've scored 14 goals in the last 2 games. It's massive. So hats off to the Claydon boys. You still like to see the results when it's it's the second thing you look at when the match results come in. Obviously, you look at the first team first, and then you start looking at the team you used to support, you used to manage.
With obviously, desire for them to do well.
Yeah, you obviously want them to do well. Like as I said, there's no like bad feelings at all. I mean, Claydon a great club. I wish them well. I wish Ash is a great bloke. He's running the Claydon A team. He was part of my management last season, and it looks like he's doing a good job now. I mean, he struggled at the start, but it seems to be picking up results.
Well, he's learned from you, Dan.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm still learning myself, mate.
Always, never stop learning. But you mentioned AFC Kesgrave, obviously 14 goals coming into the fixture. Only the 2-1 defeat for themselves. But I mean, 14 goals in coming in is pretty good going in its own right. So they can't be too upset at this point. Obviously, anytime you get beat, particularly in league action as it was, you're not going to be happy.
No.
But you've got stuff to fall back on and rebound with. Look at the division. You've got Wickham at all early doors, of course. Wickham, Hounsworth, Hawley, all up there early doors. But is that an interesting league? That one is that an anyone's league, or is that a particular team that's going to run away? Do you think? Obviously, it's a bit of a prediction at this point because it's such an early.
I still think Hounsworth will win the league with the club that they're in, and the facilities they have. The pitch is lovely, but they've got a great, strong squad. We did obviously get close to them last season, but we played Wickham Market and Hawley in the friendly. We beat Wickham Market and we lost 2-1 to Hawley Reserves. But that's them 3 will be up there at the end of the season.
Yeah. Okay. Love to see it. You got a Division 4 fixture as well. We do like to try and give some love to divisions outside the senior. So if you are watching at home, if you're a part of a club that's anywhere between Division 1 to 5 and you want to get involved, be it sending a clip
and six,
my apologies, whether it be a clip, an article, a video, get on the show yourself, whatever it might be, we want to give it some love, as much love as we possibly can. So do get involved, because it isn't just a senior league. We do know that here. But Division 4, tell me what you've got here then, Danny.
I went the Grunsborough winning 1-0 away against Kesgrave Kestrel's Reserves. Grunsborough are 3rd in the league. Kesgrave Kestrel's are 4th in the league. So I think looking at the result, that was a real tight game, and so. I mean, Grunsborough should be happy with a 1-0 result. You'd always be happy with a 1-0 result coming away against a team that are sitting 4th in the league. So,
I just noticed you've picked up both Kesgrave's results.
Kesgrave got a good setup. They've got a really good setup. I mean, they've got a whole youth team, a whole women's team. So, they're out there. So they're pretty good.
For many years as well. I remember playing against Kesgrave as a junior, and I'm 30. now, and many moons ago. So a great setup there at Kesgrave, but a good 1-0 win there for Grunsborough. You got Hope Church 6-2 win over Westerfield United Reserves. Another division 5-3 there for Sporting 87, and Capel Plough beating Old Newton Reserves 3-0. Who have you got the weekend then, Dan? What's going on with Henley reserves?
So we've got Stow Upland reserves away on Saturday. Yeah.
Okay. Are
It's
your
going to be a
thoughts on that
tough one? Yeah. I mean, we go again. We go training Wednesday. We do what we need to do in training. We turn up Saturday with the right mentality. We know what Stow Upland are about. We know what they can do. So we just need to make sure that we. I'd love to take a 1-0 win out of there. Just grab the 3 points and go. But we know it's going to be a hard game.
Yeah, obviously, Stow Upland currently in fourth. Played 2 games, so they've got 2 in hand on you.
Yeah.
But they've got 6 points. You've got 9. That could be a really tasty game because obviously Stow Upland have got those 2 games in hand on you. So yeah, I'm looking. That's a really interesting little game. That I like that. I like when it throws up quirks like that in the fixture list because it's still early doors, but you don't want to be. I don't know, what's your mindset heading into it, really? When you look at the league table, early doors, weigh everything up. Take us through the manager mindset.
Well, I don't understand why they've only had 2 games in the league. That's the first thing you look at. I understand why they've got only 2 games. I mean, I don't really want to say much about the game
That's
Saturday.
All right. Okay.
Because I know what might happen. I know what Stow Upland are like. So, but we just need a full squad to start with, and then we work from there. I mean, that's what we can do. And yeah, again, Stow Upland's are lovely facilities as well.
Beautiful.
Great setup as well. But yeah, we'll see how it goes, and we'll take the 3 points hopefully.
Not a million miles from me. So if I can weigh up a few things and get a few ducks in a row, you might be seeing me on the sidelines, Danny. Good luck for it. Obviously, we'll discuss it next week live on the show, Monday, 7:15, what goes on, how it goes down. But if you're watching and you want to give us your S.I.L Haaland equivalent, who you think is the S.I.L Haaland, do let us know in the comments or on social media. What?
Can I just say something?
Yeah, of course you can.
I don't know if you're going to say it, but I just want to say a massive shout out to obviously Lee Adams' family from Shotley Rose, who sadly passed away last Monday. Lee Adams, obviously, and his family, brothers used to play for Shotley Rose Saturday and Sunday. And obviously it's a massive loss. I've seen the videos of Shotley Rose and the brothers doing the shotguns before the game. Massive turnout as well. Looked like half the pitch around the side had been covered with spectators supporting the game. My condolences go to the family and to obviously Shotley Rose as well, who he's played for many years. I played against him, and he was a good player.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got there before I was going to come to it, but I echo those thoughts. And on behalf of everyone from the Red Devils, send our thoughts and prayers out to the family. Yeah, young, too young. Yeah, too young. But you can catch us again next Monday, 7:15. Listen on podcast platforms. But until then, he is the Henley Reserve manager. He's away at Stow Upland. If you're looking for a game this weekend, do pop along. It's going to be a tasty game. But until then, with love, with care, we've got the Trinity Red Devils match day highlight package on Wednesday at 7:30. The key highlights will be out a bit later on, probably a Friday evening like last week. But that's it, really. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and we'll see you all next week. See you then.